Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X research and professional physicist. And today I'd like to bring to you another one of my articles. This one's entitled Planet X and Weather Control. How are they creating the severe cold weather? Now, as I have detailed in many previous articles, the Earth is dying due to Planet X's increasing effect upon it. And these objects have already stopped the sun from emitting light, and now as more and more of these objects come to the Earth to absorb energy from it, weather chaos in the form of tornadoes, water spouts, floods, etc., volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, fissures, tidal surges, and rogue waves occur with ever-increasing frequency and severity. One of the last effects to be felt will be the increased temperature in the atmosphere, which will eventually turn the atmosphere into an inferno. But at the moment, soaring temperatures in Australia show that this is starting to happen already. And these photographs show some of the things that have started happening. So you can see tidal surges accompanied by rogue waves, water spout, fissures, volcanic eruptions, and floods. And these have been occurring for years and are simply getting worse. And now we have these soaring temperatures reaching unprecedented levels in Australia, and these are expected to occur worldwide eventually as our atmosphere and surface heat up. And surprisingly, this inferno was predicted by Stephen Hawking before he died. In a Life Science article entitled Steve Hawking, Earth Could Turn into a Hothouse Planet like Venus, the physicist was quoted as saying that this could happen if climate change due to global warming could not be curbed. Now, as I have detailed in many previous articles, what is happening to the planet has absolutely nothing to do with human activity. All the change is caused by Planet X. So whenever the words climate change or global warming is used, we may as well replace them with Planet X-driven climate change and Planet X-driven global warming. At the moment, it is still possible to produce severe cold weather on Earth by turning the sun simulators off in a certain region and thus allowing the air to cool and then circulating it by moving Planet X system stellar cores, which produce low pressures in the atmosphere in the required direction to get super cool air to circulate to the desired region. The stellar cores are moved by always causing increased ionization and heating ahead of them through the use of the sun simulators and turning down the simulators behind them. And you may look at article 550 for more details on that. Here's one of these objects in the Earth's atmosphere. As you can see, it is perfectly spherical. It's starting to lose its cloud envelope, and you can see it's very thin over there, but you can still see it's a spherical object. So this is one of these objects that are used to create these low pressures. And you can see from this weather map here, and severe cold weather is being purposely circulated so that it reaches quite far south over the United States and then is moved towards the East Coast. And this is done with low pressures. You can see there's a low pressure here. It's hot on this side, it's cold on that side. This low pressure was purposely moved downwards in order to pull this cool air which was created somewhere up here. And then these, you can see two low pressures here. You can see it's hot on this side, cool on that side. It's hot on this side and cool on that side. So these are being pulled along, and they usually pulled upwards by always heating the atmosphere ahead of them. You can see this one here that's being moved across. There's heat on the side and cool temperature on that side. And this was from today, Wednesday 30 at 1 a.m. and this is at 6 p.m. You can see where the low pressures have moved to. It was over there. Now it's moved off into the Atlantic. So it's pulling this whole thing across behind. And this one was over there. It's now at the coast. So they're pulling this down. And these ones here, there'll always be one somewhere down here, pulling this downwards, so that there it is. There's a low pressure here, making sure that this region of very cold air keeps moving, is kept down quite far south. So as they move out like this, or they are moved out like this cold air moves in behind them. So this is how they basically are creating the weather, because low pressure regions in the Earth's atmosphere by themselves and moving across the surface of the Earth by themselves is impossible, because there's no barrier between high density air and low density air. So what would happen is higher density air would quickly move into the low density region in order to equalize the density. That's what would be expected of air or gas in any atmosphere. So the only reason why a low pressure region stays as a low pressure region is because there is a source of gravity, an actual object which generates a gravitational wave, and the interaction is between it and the surface of the Earth. It's a tidal force. So I call it the gravitational tidal force wave here, and it causes this region of low pressure, which is in the shape of a cylinder between the stellar core and the surface of the Earth. So in conclusion, all climate change is Planet X driven, and Planet X is used to create the weather. At the moment, it is still possible to create extremely cold weather, but the fact that unprecedented high temperatures have started occurring shows that this will soon change, and the Earth will become an inferno. And these are the references. This is Dr. Claudia Albers, Planet X physicist. Thank you for watching.